I am Dr. Manoj Suryavanshi, Assistant Professor at AICSMS College of Hotel Management and Catering Technology. Today we are beginning with the chapter on Global Biodiversity Hotspots. Let's see what is the learning outcome of this content. To understand the Global Biodiversity Hotspots. Biodiversity hotspots are regions that are both rich in endemic species and experiencing significant habitat loss. These areas are critical for conservation efforts because they host a large number of species, many of which are not found anywhere else in the world. Here are some key global biodiversity hotspots. Biodiversity hotspots are regions characterized by exceptionally high levels of species richness and endemism, as well as significant threats to their biodiversity. Coined by Norman Myers in 1988, the concept of biodiversity hotspots aims to identify areas of global conservation priority. These hotspots typically cover relatively small geographical areas but host a disproportionately large number of plant and animal species. They are often found in regions with complex geological histories, diverse habitats, and favorable climatic conditions. Examples include the tropical rainforest of the Amazon basin, the coral reefs of the Coral Triangle, and Mediterranean basin. Biodiversity hotspots are crucial for global biodiversity conservation for several reasons. Now let's discuss the various reasons for biodiversity conservation. First is richness of endemic species. Now what exactly mean by richness of endemic species? Biodiversity hotspots often contain species found nowhere else on earth, known as endemics. These species are highly specialized to their local environment and are particularly vulnerable to habitat destruction and other threats. The second is high levels of threat. Despite their ecological significance, biodiversity hotspots are also among the most threatened ecosystems on the planet. Human activities such as deforestation, habitat fragmentation, overexploitation, and climate change pose significant risk to the species and ecosystems found within these regions. Third reason is conservation priority. Identifying biodiversity hotspots helps prioritize conservation efforts and allocation of resources. Protecting these areas can have a disproportionately large impact on global biodiversity conservation, as safeguarding relatively small areas can protect a large number of species. Efforts to conserve biodiversity hotspots often involve establishing protected areas, implementing sustainable land use practices, and engaging local communities in conservation initiatives. Organizations like Conservation International and the World Wildlife Fund have played a significant role in identifying and conserving biodiversity hotspots worldwide. Despite conservation efforts, many biodiversity hotspots continue to face severe threats, underscoring the urgent need for continued vigilance and action to protect these irreplicable ecosystems. By preserving biodiversity hotspots, we not only safeguard unique species and ecosystems but also support the essential services they provide, such as clean water, air purification, and climate regulation. There are other importance for biodiversity hotspots like tropical Andes. Extending along the Andes Mountains in South America, this hotspot is known for its high levels of endemism in plants, birds, and amphibians. It includes parts of Venezuela, Colombia, Ecuador, Peru, Bolivia, Chile, and Argentina. The tropical Andes, a majestic mountain range stretching across several South American countries, is one of the world's most biodiverse regions and a biodiversity hotspots. Its diverse ecosystems including cloud, forest, paramours and Andean grasslands harbor a rich array of plant and animal species found nowhere else on the earth. The region's high level of endemism and unique evolutionary history make it a critical area for conservation efforts. However, the tropical Andes face numerous threats including deforestation, habitat fragmentation, and climate change. Protecting this extraordinary biodiversity hotspot is essential for preserving its ecological integrity and sustaining the livelihoods of millions of people who depend on its resources. The next importance is Mesoamerica. This region includes southern Mexico, Central America, and the Caribbean. It is rich in tropical forest and coral reefs, hosting a vast array of species such as the jaguar and numerous amphibians and birds. Mesoamerica, a cultural and geographical region extending from central Mexico to parts of Central America, is renowned for its rich history, diverse cultures, and remarkable biodiversity. Home to ancient civilizations like the Maya and Aztec, Mesoamerica boasts a wealth of archaeological sites, including majestic pyramids and intricate artwork. Its lush landscapes encompass tropical rainforest, cloud forest, and coastal ecosystems, harboring a staggering variety of plant and animal species. Despite its ecological significance, Mesoamerica faces threats from deforestation, habitat degradation, and climate change. Conservation efforts in this region are crucial for protecting its biodiversity and cultural heritage for future generations. Madagascar and the Indian Ocean Island. Now we'll see what exactly meant by Madagascar and the Indian Ocean Islands and its importance for biodiversity hotspot. Madagascar, along with neighboring islands like the Seychelles and Comoros, is renowned for its unique biodiversity, with a high percentage of species that are found nowhere else, including lemurs and various plant species. Madagascar and the Indian Ocean Islands from a unique biodiversity hotspots, renowned for their exceptional species richness and high levels of endemism. Madagascar, the world's fourth largest island, boasts an astonishing array of plants and animals found nowhere else on earth, including iconic lemurs and baobab trees. The Indian Ocean Islands, including Mauritius, Seychelles, and Comoros, also harbor remarkable biodiversity with diverse marine life and endemic bird species. However, these island ecosystems face significant threats from habitat loss, invasive species, and climate change. Conservation efforts are vital to safeguarding the extraordinary biodiversity of Madagascar and the Indian Ocean Islands for future generations. The next hotspot of biodiversity is Indo-Burma. Indo-Burma, encompassing parts of Southeast Asia including Myanmar, Thailand, Laos, Cambodia, and Vietnam, is one of the world's most biodiverse regions. Its lush tropical forests, riverine systems, and unique limestone karst harbor an extraordinary array of plant and animal species, many of which are found nowhere else on earth. Indo-Burma is particularly renowned for its high levels of species endemism, including charismatic megafauna like the Asian elephant and the critically endangered Sumatran rhinoceros. However, rapid deforestation, habitat degradation, and illegal wildlife trade pose significant threats to the region's biodiversity. Conservation efforts are crucial to preserving Indo-Burma's ecological integrity and sustaining its invaluable natural resources. Next is Western Ghats and Sri Lanka. Now we'll see what has been included as a hotspot in Western Ghats and Sri Lanka. The Western Ghats mountain range in India, along with Sri Lanka, is a major biodiversity hotspot with numerous endemic species, including plants, amphibians, and mammals. The Western Ghats mountain range, running along the western coast of India and the island nation of Sri Lanka, are both biodiversity hotspots for immense ecological significance. The Western Ghats boast diverse ecosystems, from tropical forests to grasslands, supporting a rich variety of endemic flora and fauna, including the endangered Bengal tiger and the lion-tailed macaque. Similarly, Sri Lanka's tropical rainforest, coastal mangroves, and highland cloud forest harbor numerous endemic species such as the Sri Lankan elephant and the Ceylon spurfowl. However, both regions face threats from deforestation, habitat fragmentation, and human encroachment, necessitating concerted conservation efforts to safeguard their unique biodiversity. Next hotspot is Sundaland. This region includes the Malay Peninsula, Borneo, Sumatra, Java, and surrounding islands. It is known for its tropical rainforest and rich marine biodiversity, including species like the orangutan and the Sumatran tiger. Sundaland, a submerged region of Southeast Asia, was once a vast landmass connecting the Malay Peninsula, Borneo, Sumatra, and Java during the last ice age. Spanning from 18,000 to 6,000 years ago, it provided a habitat for early humans and diverse wildlife. Rising sea levels due to melting glaciers gradually inundated Sundaland, forming the Indonesian archipelago and the South China Sea. This geological event shaped the region's biodiversity and cultural evolution. Today, Sundaland's remnants serve as a reminder of Earth's dynamic history, influencing ecological patterns and human migration while highlighting the interconnectedness of land, water, and life. Next hotspot is Walasi. Located between the Asian and Australian continental shelves, this hotspot includes islands such as Sulawesi and the Lesser Sunda Islands. It hosts a mix of Asian and Australian species with high endemism among birds and mammals. Walasi, a biogeographic region between the Sunda and Sahul shelves, encompasses a diverse array of islands in the Indonesian archipelago. Named after British naturalist Alfred Russel Wallace, it boasts unique flora and fauna due to its isolation. Wallasia's distinct species, including the iconic Komodo dragon and various endemic birds, reflect its evolutionary significance. Its complex geological history, characterized by tectonic activity and sea level fluctuations, shaped its biodiversity. Despite its ecological richness, Walasi faces threats from habitat loss, climate change, and invasive species. Conservation efforts are crucial to preserving this biodiversity hotspot and understanding its role in global ecology and evolution. Next hotspot is Philippines. The archipelago with high levels of endemism, the Philippines is home to diverse ecosystems, including tropical forest and coral reefs, with species such as the Philippine eagle and various endemic plants and marine life. Philippines, an archipelago over 7,000 islands of Southeast Asia, showcases a tapestry of cultures, landscapes, and biodiversity. Its rich history is marked by indigenous civilizations, Spanish colonization, American influence, and contemporary Asian fusion. From the bustling streets of Manila to the pristine beaches of Palawan, the country offers diverse experiences. Its vibrant culture is reflected in colorful festivals, traditional cuisine, and warm hospitality. The Philippines boasts unique biodiversity with endemic species like the Philippine eagle and tarsier. However, it faces challenges such as poverty, political unrest, and environmental degradation. Yet, resilience and optimism define the Filipino spirit, driving progress and innovation. These hotspots are recognized for their exceptional levels of biodiversity and the critical need for conservation due to threats from habitat destruction, climate change, and human activities. Protecting these areas is crucial for preserving the planet's biological heritage. Global biodiversity hotspots are regions with exceptionally high levels of species richness and endemism, which are also under significant threat from human activities. These areas identified by Conservation International cover just 2.3% of the Earth's land surface, but harbor more than half of the world's plant species and nearly 43% of bird, mammals, reptile, and amphibian species. The hotspots are crucial for global conservation efforts as they represent areas where limited conservation resources can yield significant benefits. However, these regions face severe challenges including habitat destruction, climate change, invasive species, and overexploitation of resources. Effective conservation strategies in these hotspots are vital for preserving the unique biodiversity they contain, which is essential for ecosystem services that support human life such as clean water, air, and fertile soils. Despite their importance, many hotspots are located in developing countries where financial and political constraints. Therefore, international cooperation, sustainable development, and increased funding are imperative to safeguard these critical areas. Protecting global biodiversity hotspots is not only about conserving wildlife but also about ensuring the health and sustainability of our planet for future generations. The conclusion of this content is to understand the global biodiversity hotspot. We have covered several reasons for biodiversity hotspots. First is richness of endemic species, high levels of threat, conservation priority, and tropical Andes, Mesoamerica, Madagascar and the Indian Ocean Island, Indo-Burma, Western Ghats and Sri Lanka, and Sundaland and the Philippines. Thank you.